What's up, champ? It's back again for another UFC predictions video, this time for UFC 310. Alexandre Pantoja versus Asakura. Sick card. Very, very excited. Stacked top to bottom. We will be there for it. And, yeah, I'm very excited to go down it. I got a lot of spots I like on this card. But first, as always, let's go over last week's results. Not good. Not good. Very sad. And the biggest losses can be attributed to really, like, not bad reads, but like, I mean, this was a bad read. The Mahashate one was horrible. And I thought he would get finished if he lost. So, hey, I was wrong. Kong Wang was winning the whole time. Get caught. Sub. Damn. I really didn't think that had a chance of happening. And the same thing here with Fang against she gets head kick KO'd. Lost a lot on that. But Yan and Yan Jiangnun made it not as bad of a night, but not a good night by any means. So yeah. But we'll go through each of these fights. Let's go through the ones I bet. Mahashate, Nicholas Mota. Nicholas Mota just kept finding a way to hurt Mahashate when it mattered, and I really wanted a decision like that. I don't really think there's much more to get into. Mota looked really good, and yeah, I thought that Mahashate would be the one winning more in the minutes because of the volume and stuff like that, but you're not going to be winning minutes if you just keep getting knocked down in 2 rounds. So, yeah, I was thinking if Mahashate's going to lose, he's going to get KO'd. But he didn't. He stayed tough. He stayed tough. So, I ended up losing on that one because of it. The next fight I had a bet on, I think it's either... which one came first? I think it was this one. Ochoa versus Kavanaugh. I don't feel bad about this bet. I think this was a fine bet because Ochoa did make this close, and I think he did hurt Kavanaugh to the body at one point. Ochoa is really good. This guy's going to be someone to look at in the future. I don't mind taking the dog shot on a spot like that, so no shame on that one. Tuma Dembélé versus Carlos Hernandez. I played both sides on this one. The side I was more confident in winning was this one, the Hernandez one, but I thought Tuma Dembélé in rounds 1 and 2 was definitely live to happen and would have paid more, so that would have been better. But no complaints. Hernandez was able to win, and basically I made 50 cents from it. It is what it is. I'm okay with that. It was a good play, although I was very scared out the Tuma Dembélé was going to get the decision, where it would have went so bad either way. But I did think Carlos Hernandez won the fight. His striking looked pretty good round 3, to be honest. Even though he got hurt at the end because freaking Carlos Hernandez. Wrestling was on point. It went how I thought it would, because I thought Hernandez would win the fight by decision. But if there was a chance of Tuma Dembélé winning, it was probably early finish. Fang versus Shi. Insane. Fang was completely controlling the fight, doing whatever she wanted at range, then gets absolutely sparked out in round 3 after clearly winning rounds 1 and 2 by a crazy head kick. Insane. Shout out to Shi. I love that she walks out to Street Fighter 2 Guile's theme. That's amazing. Absolutely lovable person, the doctor thing, but like one of the most improbable things I've ever seen. So, I mean, I don't think it was like the worst bet, because like this was like she was completely winning the fight and then just get caught. But that's how it is. I think this one though is a lot worse of a bet. Like Kong Wang over Gabriel Fernandez. I mean, Kong Wang again was winning, doing whatever she wanted in there. But because of that, she got herself caught by like fighting like that. Really, I imagine she's gonna make a big adjustment coming back, and I think she's gonna be doing really good, and not fight like that, fight so recklessly to get like dropped and then get subbed. It was so similar to Yasmin Haragui versus Ketlin Souza, where Yasmin was absolutely doing whatever she wanted, gets caught, and then gets subbed right away. It's pretty insane. Yeah, totally unexpected. Great win by Gabriela Fernandez. I think Kong Wang will be back. I still think she's really good. But I mean, at that price of chalk, shouldn't be losing bets like that. So it's like, I think that's a bad bet in retrospect. Absolutely. I thought she'd run through her a lot easier. I thought she would KO her. So yeah. Next fight I bet on Yan Jong-nun to beat Tabitha Ricci. I should have put 11 units on this. Tabitha Ricci had nothing. Could not get into range. If she did get into range, she'd get popped by something big, by Yan Jong-nun. I mean, Yan Jong-nun just is able to stand her ground, and just, okay, come to me, and then she just absolutely outstrike Tabitha Ricci. It was an embarrassing performance by Tabitha Ricci. Embarrassing. But Yan Jong-nun looked phenomenal. She looked great. I mean, easy 30-27. Easy. Dominated. And then Petr Yan. Petr Yan to beat Davidson Figueiredo. I had a lot of belief in Petr to go ahead and win this. He looked freaking amazing in this fight. Although he did get dropped at one point. It scared the living daylights out of me. But, man, Petr Yan is an absolute G. Always there, ready to fight. He's so good. He's my second favorite fighter of all time, and he showed it again. I knew this is a good matchup for him, especially over 5 rounds. Man, he's that dude. So yeah, props to Petr Yan. Now let's go over the rest of the card real quick. I went 8 of 13. Did pretty all right considering. We talked about that one. Long Zhao beat Kong Lee by KO. This was such a great fight. If you've not watched these fights, because these were like super early in the morning, this was such a good fight. I highly recommend it. Long Zhao absolutely put on a show. He put on a show. He is so much fun to watch. Prove me right, maybe not prove me right, but made me feel better about picking him in his last fight, which I did think he won. Man, Long Zhao is someone to look out for. Talked about that one. Donggun Choi beats Kira Sohota. Slapped Sohota out bad after probably getting outstriked by Sohota, because he's a pretty nice striker at distance, but I never thought he was good. I don't think the Choi guy is that great either, to be honest, but I mean, he fought a good, pretty alright game plan, is able to find the shot to put down Sohota. Yeah, so much over that, all those talk about the gloves and stuff like that. Su Young Yu beats Janisili. Yeah, it was just a grapple fest by Su Young Yu. He looked great. I don't really know what else to say about that one. Ming Yanjing beats Ozzy Diaz by KO. I mean, it's the same with this dude every time. It's just he's an absolute marauder. I'm coming in here. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to take you out. I'm going to take your soul. That's when Ming Yanjing comes in with his attitude in the octagon. I knew Ozzy Diaz, he's here to get knocked out. Great win by Ming Yanjing. It's absolute beautiful up elbow to get it. Oh man, this one hurts me because I knew I was gonna bet this one, but I forgot to put it up on Bet-A-Me.Tips. I did bet this fight to go like over 2.5 and like to go the distance. I did bet both of those, but I would have put on it on Bet-A-Me.Tips if you had any wondering. But it is what it is. I forgot to do it, so it's completely on me. I did bet it then. Olberg looked great. I knew this fight would go long. I mean, although I had that bet, I was like, my heart was not ready for. Volkan was trying to go for it. I was like, no, don't go for it. No, this is bad. Olberg did well to keep distance. Volkan kept good account of himself. It's not like he just looked like he was completely shot or anything. Volkan's still very good. But Carlos Olberg is on that level, and beating a guy like Volkan Oezdemir says a lot about you, in my opinion. So I think it's up and up for Carlos Olberg in this division. Not an easy fight, but can't have them all be easy fights. Song Kenan losing to Muslim Salikov, one of the sickest KOs I've ever seen. Spinning wheel kick by Muslim Salikov. I thought Song would just need one shot and he probably wouldn't get hurt. he got hurt. So, hey, all bets are off in that sense. Yeah. Props to Muslim Salikov. Good win. So now, let's get into UFC 310. Do a quick recap of that. Oops. Edit picks. Here we go. So let's go over this card. I'm very, very excited about it. Kenny Nchukwu versus Lukas Brzeski. I think I gotta go Nchukwu. I'm a Brzeski believer, but not really. But I think this fight goes to decision. I like the over 1.5 here. If we're talking about like betting, I think that's pretty freaking likely, to be honest with you, because neither guy really puts on a crazy pace. I think Brzeski's a bigger guy than Barnett is, and I think there's more of a risk factor when it comes to that. So maybe Nchukwu will not go as hard and like try to get a finish this time around at heavyweight. I think Nchukwu's gonna be the guy with the more volume and just win like that. Honestly, I don't count out Brzeski in this one, to be honest. I think he can win, but I gotta go with the guy who's I think can put out the volume better, and I do think the reach and height advantage is gonna play a factor here for him. So give me Kennedy to win a decision, and I'll probably look into betting that over. Clay Guida, Chase Hooper. I mean, it's just Chase Hooper by whatever he wants, really. Probably sub. Clay Guida gets subbed. Chase Hooper showing massive improvements. That Slava Claus win is a great win. That's a great win. He didn't tap though. He should not have got that sub. But Hooper is definitely on his way to winning that fight. Dropped Slava Claus. This says a lot about his developments. I think Chase Hooper, I don't know how he loses this besides maybe being on his back and not doing anything, but we know Chase Hooper is going to be doing subs constantly. He's going to try getting sweeps on Clay Guida if he's on top. I love Chase Hooper here. The odds are awful for a good reason. I think the only playable way to play this is minus 3.5 Chase Hooper. That seems interesting. Maybe like use as like a small parlay piece. I wouldn't go crazy on that, but I think Chase Hooper wins 3 rounds pretty easily in this fight in a high clip. So that's what I think. Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin. This fight has just been, I don't even know what to think about this fight. I'm gonna go Chiesa. I'm not confident in this by any means, but I think Chiesa. I think the size is going to be such a big factor here, and that's what makes me lean towards Chiesa to win this fight. I think the size and the wrestling of Chiesa is going to be able to take down Max Griffin. If it's on the feet, I mean, it's Max Griffin's show all day. I know beating Tony Ferguson tells you nothing, but doesn't change the fact that Michael Chiesa is a massive guy at 170. I think that's going to play a big factor here. So I'm taking Chiesa for that reason. Not confident at all. Maybe I'll bet like the decision, because if the odds on that are right, which I think they are, Michael Chiesa, out of curiosity, where is it? Minus 128 in the money. I don't like that. Decision plus 215's okay. Submission's okay. He's not getting a KO. I mean, how you could play this is Max Griffin KO, Michael Chiesa by sub, and then Michael Chiesa by decision. I think you could technically play all those. And like, at the very least, like, whatchamacallit? Like break even. Break even's what I'm trying to say. Because Max Griffin in his history is not good at decisions. Not good at winning decisions. I don't really think he gets a KO, but it's possible with how Michael Chiesa is. I might play that. And like it's basically just me fading Max Griffin by sub, Michael Chiesa by KO, and Max Griffin decision. I might do that. I might do like small bet. And it would be like $1 bets for all of those, honestly. Just for like the fun sake of fun. Looks interesting to me. I'll take a look into that. Cody Durden, Joshua Van. I think this is an interesting fight. I'm not doubting Cody Durden. He can absolutely win this fight, but I'm going to go with Josh round 3 finish. I think Joshua Van is going to lose round 1. He always loses round 1. So honestly, Cody Durden plus 3.5 I think is probably a great bet, especially if you think he goes to decision, which absolutely could. It absolutely could. But I think after round 1, having probably a rough start because Joshua Van always loses round 1. Why even bet Josh Van pre when you can just bet him live? I think it's better to do. The odds have come down on him, which is good. You're better off playing him live, in my opinion. And I think you're better off playing 6 strikes, more significant strikes for Joshua Van. I think he's going to absolutely significant strike Cody Durden unless Cody Durden has massive success on the wrestling, which he absolutely can, but I don't really think so. I mean, I am picking Josh Van to win, so I'd hope so. I think Josh Van after round 1 maybe gets wrestled a little bit, but after round 1 he's gonna get the rhythm. I think he's gonna throw a lot of strikes. It's the first time he's had a full camp in a long time, so I think that's a big factor in his favor. I like Josh Van here. Am I tempted to bet it a little bit? Not now that, because I didn't see that the number has come down this much, so a little interesting. But honestly, betting this pre is not the way to go. Betting this live is the way to go. So I do think Josh Van wins. So and again, more 6 strikes I think is a way better way to play it if the number's any sort of good. Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. This fight, I don't like it. I'm going Weidman to win a decision. I think it's going to be a greasy, nasty fight. I just think Weidman wants it a little more, but I can see Anders honestly sleep him. I can see him even win like a nasty decision, but I think the Weidman's wrestling can play a factor in like opening up the striking a little bit, or maybe he does actually get Anders down. That's what I think. I think Weidman wins, but I cannot in my right mind put any bets on this fight. Randy Brown versus Brian Battle. Brian Battle has missed weight for this fight. I'm still gonna go Battle, but like, it's not good luck. It's not good, and I want those odds to come down even more, way more. I think the way to play this is maybe Randy Brown pre, Brian Battle live. I think Brian Battle after round 1, I think is a good live bet. I don't think he's gonna win round 1. I think Randy Brown's gonna look the slickest, and the best in round 1. But Brian Battle's gonna need to get those calf kicks off, get that pressure going, start to get Randy Brown a little more fatigued, limit that movement, find a way to stay close, and I think he absolutely can do that. I am super worried about the weight cut not going well. My 175 pounds, not good by any means. That's a bad weight miss, and that's something to like look out, because you can't be missing weight, and if you're missing weight, something bad's happened likely. But I'm still gonna go Battle. I do got belief in this guy. I've been believing this guy since the tough days. T. Volkanovski, stand up. But I understand why people are on the Brown side, especially after that weight cut being botched. Brown bettors got to be happy. They got to be happy. Yeah, and also I do want to say this: like, it's been the first time that Brian Battles fought a guy like Randy Brown who's going to use their range and fight at distance like that. But the reason why I am still ultimately going Battle, he levels up every fight. He always levels up and gets better. So I got belief in that. I think that will pull through. But yeah, Randy Brown's a tough test. This is a step up, and I like it. I like it. It's a good way to test him. Test Brian Battle, see where he's at. We'll see. I'm going Brian Battle, though. Here we go. The hot take of the video. Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. This is definitely my biggest hot take, probably of the whole year. I like Movsar Evloev to win this fight. I think he KOs Aljamain Sterling. I think Movsar Evloev is the much better striker than Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling is a little funky, the Funk Master. funky with the striking, which makes him good at it. But I think Evloev is just better. I think his striking is super underrated. I do think his wrestling. I do think wrestling will be competitive. Aljamain Sterling has fantastic wrestling, but Evloev himself also amazing wrestling. I'm super high on Evloev. I think he's going to be the much stronger guy here as like the natural 145er. I mean, I guess you could say Aljo's a natural 145er too because he was pretty massive for 135. But I mean, Evloev has been in this weight class. But these past few fights, like I know he's known as a decision machine, but these guys he's been beating are just so notoriously durable. Danny Ige, no one has damaged Danny Ige more than Monster Evloev has. No one has done it. And like other dudes, he finishes that fight. Diego Lopez, short notice, gives a great account for himself. Monster Evloev put in many sub positions. He does it, I swear he does it on purpose, all these fights where he puts himself in sub positions and he just gets out. He's got amazing sub defense. So I kind of think he's unsubbable. I think Mossart can absolutely, like, if I'm losing my words. With Diego Lopez, it's a complete short notice fight. Well, not necessarily for Evloev as much because he was fighting. He's going to fight Bryce Mitchell then, but it's like a complete switch up in terms of the kind of opponent. And like Diego Lopez, I mean, I know Bryce Mitchell has fantastic jiu-jitsu himself, but his wrestling is his big MO. Now he has to fight a great jiu-jitsu guy who has really heavy hands. It's a different matchup. Different matchup for Evloev. Short notice. Got away with it. I wouldn't say got away with it because he won that fight. He did win that fight, but it was a close fight. But Moffitt did what he had to do. And then Arnold Allen. He hurt Arnold Allen in that fight. Like, are we just going to ignore that happen? Arnold Allen's super durable. He absolutely is. And to be able to do that is so impressive. To be able to wrestle him like he was is so impressive. Monster Evloev is so underrated. Like, people don't give this guy the credit he deserves. I think Evloev is super good. I think he can absolutely finish Aljamain Sterling. I'm going to be I'm betting Monster straight up money line, or I have a bet on it, especially because odds have come down on it. Very happy about that. But even then, I had a bet before. I had minus 235 before it got crazy. I think Mobstar is going to put it on Aljo. I think he's going to put it on Aljo. I think he gets it out of there, especially with all the talks of the UFC saying like he's boring, doesn't get finishes. I absolutely disagree with that notion. And even before he was in the UFC, he was getting finishes. He was getting a lot of finishes. So I don't think it's out of the question that you can get a finish. Not at all. Again, and Aljamain Sterling is, I mean, I know his chin at 145 is probably better, but it's not better than Arnold Allen. It's not better than Diego Lopez. It's not better than Dan Ige. Maybe better than Hakeem Dawood do. Nick Lentz maybe at that point. Yeah. Nick Lentz always tough, dude. I think Mobster Evloev KOs him. I think I'm going to be playing, I already have the moneyline bet. I'm going to be betting the KO prop because I'm like super like this is going to happen. And I'm probably going to play the minus 3.5 because I do think Monster Evloev dominates. And the main reason I'm playing that is because just in case if he subs Aljo, I think it could be club and sub. That's possible. So like that would be like a little bit of a cushion for the KO bet. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. The biggest bet would be the money line. Vicente Luque versus Temba Garimbo. This fight is tough for me. I'm going Temba Garimbo to win a decision, but I will say this. I know for a fact that if the Buckley fight didn't happen, I would be putting all my money on Luque. But the Buckley fight happened, and it's such a bad look. It's such a bad look. He was going to fight Nick Diaz on this card. Now he's fighting Garimbo. Such a massive switch in styles. I know Garimbo definitely wants it. I gotta go Garimbo because of that. Would not shock me if Luque gets a Darce. Would not shock me. if Luque absolutely wins a decision here. But I'm going Garimbo. I cannot bet it because I'm not letting recency bias get me. Because I know, again, I know for a fact Luque, I would be on Luque I'd be all over him if it wasn't for his last fight. So yeah, give me Temba. I think the UFC also like him. I think they want him to. I don't know. I don't think they care actually who wins this fight because I think they like both the guys, but they do like Temba, so they're okay with giving him this matchup to step up. Anthony Smith versus Dominic Reyes. Oh man, Reyes KO round 2. Just that bad luck on the scales today with Anthony Smith. He did come back and made weight. Good for Anthony Smith, but it's not a good look. Having trouble on the scale. This is a full camp. I think Dominic Reyes is going to sleep him. I don't really know where Smith can get Reyes unless Reyes pulls a Petrino, which he won't. He won't. It's not his fight style to do what Petrino does. Like, he's going to keep it on the feet. He's got great takedown defense. I think Reyes is going to... I don't really see the path to victory for Anthony Smith unless he gets a random sub. And I don't really know how he gets the fight to the ground, in all honesty. I think Reyes is back. I think he's going to absolutely dominate. And, like, I'm like, considering, like, is this recency bias? Because I know I was on Reyes' last fight. I was on Reyes in that fight to win against Jacoby. I was like, but he was like a massive dog. Now he's a big favorite. All the tape I've seen is just I can't see the path for Anthony Smith. I can't. So I like Dominic Reyes. I bet him. This fight is a banger. This is such a good fight. Nate the Train Landwehr versus Doo Ho Choi. I'm not gonna be betting this one in terms of Bam tips, but if there's gonna be a bet, I think it's on Doo Ho Choi pre. I think Choi has a good chance of getting a KO early. Absolutely. But if this fight gets extended, Nate the Train absolutely can drown Doo Ho Choi. But man, Nate the Train's pretty hittable. He is pretty hittable, and I think the cleaner guy is Doo Ho Choi. And I think he's gonna find the chin on Nate the Train. I think he finds a finish because of it. So how I would suggest betting it, bet Doo Ho Choi early, bet him early, and then halfway through round 1, or maybe after round 1, it depends. Because maybe I think the bettors are going to be keen to this, like the live bettors, and they're going to be wanting to get on Nate the Train live. So I think you might have to do it a little bit earlier. You have to live bet Nate the Train then. And like, do it as an ARB. Because it's gonna, the odds are close right now. I think during the fight, for like the first little period, I think Doo Ho Choi is going to be winning. I know Nate the Train Landwehr got a quick finish last time against Jamal Emmers, but I think that's how it's going to play out. I'm not super confident in Doo Ho Choi, but I am confident in that. I think there's a good chance of an ARB happening. So yeah, give me Doo Ho Choi to win, but not that confident. Nate the Train absolutely could win. Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. Give me Bryce. I'm gonna go KO. Round. I don't know. I think he can get him out of there round 2. Out of curiosity, I want to look at these odds because I minus 950. It's disgusting. I have a tough time seeing where Bryce loses this, to be honest. But I do want. I want to see what the significant strikes are, because if there are any sort of, honestly, under minus 1,000, parlayable. I don't know how he doesn't out significant strike Kron Gracie. If you rather be on the significant strikes than Bryce Mitchell money line, because if he out strike, he can still get subbed or whatever. It's fine, not a big deal. Kron Gracie is not out significant striking Bryce Mitchell. It's not happening. It's not happening. I think Bryce Mitchell rolls here. I think his wrestling is going to be too much for Kron Gracie. I think he'll keep it safe, not do dumb stuff, and I think he can absolutely get a finish here in a big comeback spot after the Josh Emmett KO, which is like a year ago now, right? Let me check. Took a lot of time to feel up. 11 months, close enough. I think Bryce puts it on Kron. I don't I don't see where Kron does anything here, if I'm honest. Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov. The odds on this fight have been insane at this point. Like, it's gotten to the point where it's like, well, okay, some money's coming on Volkov, I guess. Okay, maybe it's more reasonable. I am going Gane. I'm going to go with Gane to win a decision. But that first fight was close, in my opinion. I had a 3-2 Gane. I thought that, like, obviously the rounds that were pretty close, but it's like Gane edged some rounds, and I thought Volkov edged some rounds. But it was a pretty close fight. Now we have a 3-rounder where it's like just more volatility can happen. Like, one random thing can happen, and like, oh, you can't make it up in more time. Volkov's a good dog shot, to be honest, in my eyes. I'm not doing it, but I don't blame anyone for doing it. In all honesty, I don't think Volkov will be able to get grappling going. I don't think he's like fast enough to be able to go ahead and get that done. I think the Gane's takedown defense is also really good, but Volkov can strike. Volkov can strike. I'm super high on both these guys. Their first fight is my favorite heavyweight fight of all time. Fun fact about me. The most technical heavyweight fight ever, in my eyes. The most technical heavyweight fight ever. I think I'm willing to enjoy it. I think I'm willing to just go ahead and enjoy it. Probably the under's an all right look. I know both guys, again, they're not out to get a finish, but it's heavyweight. Anything is live to happen in a heavyweight fight like that. So I think if you're playing the numbers, I don't think that's a bad bet either. Like an under. Because both guys can hit hard. They can hit hard. Not necessarily their style, because they try to be tit for tat, fight smart, but maybe anything at heavyweight, they can find the shot and they can hurt dudes. These guys, so yeah, I'll take Gane, but I'm not ultra confident. Here we go. Next fight up the card. I'm super hyped for this one. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Machado Gary. Oh, this is a great fight. I think it's another hot take. Give me Ian Gary to win a decision. I think Ian Gary is going to look great this fight. I think this dude is the real deal. Shavkat is the real deal too. But, I mean, it just happens. This is one of the matchups I think he absolutely can lose. There's like 3 guys I think he loses to in the division. It's like Ian Gary, Leon Edwards, and JDM. But I think he beats pretty much everyone else as of right now. Maybe Prates should be an interesting one. But I'm not so sure about that. It's pretty even for me. But with this matchup, why do I think Ian Gary wins this fight? I think the footwork is a massive difference between these two. I think the speed is going to be huge for Ian Gary. I think those 2 things are going to be great. There's questions about cardio for mainly Shavkat, because Ian Machado Gary has gone 5 rounds before. Shavkat's not gone above 3. I mean, he's always gotten finishes. That's why. I think that the pressure style might not do Shavkat so good. I know with pressure, I've done Muay Thai, so pressure, like doing that will make a dude tired if you keep pressuring them, and they will to that. But again, I think that's where the footwork comes into play with Ian Gary, and I think that's just going to be such a big factor. And also, I do want to say this: Shavkat's wrestling is not all that. He had a lot of trouble taking that Wonder Boy. I know he was injured that fight, and he was injured in the Jeff Neal fight. He's always injured, so well, maybe I shouldn't be that surprised if he comes in injured in this one. I think Shavkat's wrestling is not all that, and I think Ian Gary's wrestling defense at least is probably better than Wonder Boy's. Hot take. So yeah, there is a physicality difference, and I will say this though: if Shavkat is able to get this to the ground, which I don't think he will be, but if he is able to get to the ground, I mean, it's him all day. His wrestling is not all that, but his grappling is all that. His grappling is so good. Shavkat Rakhmonov, he's got some of the best grappling in the division. Although, I think Gary can maybe be live enough or alive enough to like stay alive and not get subdued, not get subbed on bottom. I think he could be okay. I don't expect Ian Gary to wrestle here. I think it'd be foolish to do so. I think he's gonna fight a clean fight. Shavkat does not move his head. I think the shots will all be there for Ian Gary. I like Ian Gary here. Another bet I like. Fight to start round 3. I got it at plus 100. I'm very happy with that bet. I think this fight goes long. There's a chance Shavkat takes it a little slower, doesn't go crazy because 5 rounds. You can't afford to make a mistake like that over 5. So give me Ian Gary. I think this dude's good. Training at Bangtan Muay Thai this camp. So like those are the guys who trained Volkanovski to fight Islam Makhachev. And it's a pretty good camp. It's a pretty good camp to do a training camp at. I like Ian Gary. I think he's gonna show out and win as a big underdog. Next fight of the card. Oh, I'm so hyped for this one. Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Asakura. This is so sick. But I do like Pantoja a lot here. I think he gets a sub round 2. I love me some round 2s, I guess. This fight probably does not go the distance. I will say that. Kai Asakura hits like a truck. Don't get me wrong. Pantoja has a great chin. I'm very this is the one thing I'm so worried about. Them knees could go to the body and those can shut you down even if Pantoja's chin does hold up. He is getting older. That's a scare. But if his chin holds up, I think he's gonna look great this fight. Asakura's chin isn't like unbreakable. We've seen in the past. He's been hurt before. It could be a cup up here even. And the main reason I like Pantoja here, I think he can get the wrestling going. I think the scrambles are just going to be too much for Pantoja. People got to put some respect on that Steve Urseg win. That's a great win. And like, I think Urseg is perhaps one of the worst matchups for Pantoja in the division. Absolutely one of the worst. If he's able to take down Urseg, I think he can take down Kai Asakura. Because Urseg is a massive flyweight himself. Kai Asakura, massive flyweight. Obviously, because he's a bantamweight, pretty much. Not pretty much. He was. Now he's coming down the flyweight. Hasn't fought flyweight in years, but I wasn't worried. I'm not worried about his weight cut. He's fine. I think being able to take down Urseg says a lot. Says a lot to me. I think he'll be able to go ahead and do that here against Kai Asakura. In order for Pantoja to win, he needs that toughness. He needs it. He needs to not be able to get chinned in order to go through the fire to be able to find the not only the shots but also the takedowns. And if we're on the ground, I think it's all Pantoja. Asakura does not have the ground game of Urseg. He does not. So in the wrestling of Urseg, I think he'll be fine. Stuffing takedowns on film against Merab doesn't tell me anything. I'm sorry. Also, because he is coming from bantamweight, he's now having to deal with flyweight speed. So I think will matter. I think the flyweight speed will be a little bit different. Kai Asakura is still really fast, very explosive, but I think Pantoja is going to be faster than a lot of opponents he's had. And good thing for Pantoja, he's at ATT, American Top Team, because Horiguchi's there, who's fought Kai Asakura twice. He got chinned one time, and then next time he fought him, it was easy. I think ATT will give Pantoja a great game plan to go ahead and win this fight. Sure, the UFC does definitely probably want Kai Asakura to win, but I mean, I think it's a levels fight, to be honest. And I do think Pantoja will be able to find the finish. I think he can sub him. I like him here. I love him here. I think he absolutely gets it done. So give me Alexandre Pantoja to get the win. So let's go through this whole thing once again real quick. If it will load. There we go. Go through it, and I'll go through my 6 strikes and more takedowns bet. More 6 strikes, probably Kennedy. More takedowns, probably Kennedy, if I had to guess. This is interesting. I don't know about the more takedowns, to be honest, because I could see Chase Hooper pull guard, maybe. So I wouldn't touch either 6 strikes or more takedowns, because Clay Guida kind of can be high volume, but the length of Chase Hooper can lean toward him. Chiesa more takedowns. I think that's a lock in terms of like Max Payne Griffin ain't going for no takedowns. So that's what I think. More six strikes. I love Van in that bet. I think he's gonna absolutely out significant strike Cody Durden. More takedowns, probably Durden though. Durden will go for takedowns. I have Weidman more takedowns, I guess, but I don't want anything to do with that, to be honest. More takedowns, Brian Battle. If I had to put something like this, more six strikes. I don't want to be on either side because if Brian Battle can get his striking going, you guys throw a lot of volume. But if Randy Brown's getting the fight he wants, he's gonna outstrike Brian Battle. So that one could be a little dicey. I like Movsar Evloev. Although the thing is, with Aljo style, he can be a little hard to hit. So maybe I wouldn't really suggest betting six strikes or more takedowns in this one because I think it can go either way for both. Garimbo more takedowns probably is the way to go. I don't think Luque is going to be shooting for takedowns. He could, it's possible, but I think probably Garimbo more takedowns if the number is nice. I don't know if it will be though. Anthony Smith, Dominic Reyes more significant strikes all day. I think he'll get that, no problem. I don't know. I think that it could vary depending on the outcome. I'm not crazy about that one. Bryce Mitchell more significant strikes all day. You can parlay that with everything. Man, I don't actually do that, but this is about as safe as you can get in my eyes. About as safe as you can get. Bryce Mitchell. Yeah. Probably gone six strikes, but I'm not crazy about it. Probably Volkov more takedowns, just because if anyone's going for takedowns, it's probably Volkov. Although maybe Gane has had a new wrinkle to his game, so I'm not even that crazy about that, if I'm honest. Ian Gary, Shavkar, Rakhmonov. Ian Gary more six strikes in my eyes. I think is pretty good. More takedowns, Shavkar. He's the only one going for takedowns, I think. Pantoja, more takedowns. I like that a lot. I like more takedowns, Pantoja, a lot, because I'd be kind of surprised if Asakura really goes for takedowns. So yeah, those are my picks. That's what I think of UFC 310. Super excited for the card. Great card. Next week we have a card in Tampa. I'm going to that one, and it's going to be the first time ever I'm going to be betting on a fight card. I'm going to. I've been to a bunch of fight cards, and usually I'm pretty like I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be betting on cards, but I'm making an exception here because there's one spot I just cannot. I cannot miss out on. There's no way I'm missing out on betting this spot. And I'm betting on one other spot because similar thing, but not as much so because I have a max bet on this next card, and I'm ultra confident in that fight. So yeah, very excited for Tampa. I'll make sure to do that one early because I got a lot of stuff I've got going that week. And I want to go to Tampa early. So yeah, if anyone's in Tampa, hit me up. Let me know. Perfect. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great one. Good luck on your betting. You can check me out on Bet Me Out Tips, Champ Bets. And yeah, let's go. Let's go.